So thank you for coming on Wednesday weekdays. So we all work on different technology, software, programming language for our employers. But for what? For about ourselves. So I am talking about a hobby project. It is not for my company. So when I came to know about MCP and GNAI and all those stuff, I thought why can't we use for our own purpose? So I was already aware about Sony Television provide a RESTful API, and I developed an MCP server on top of it, and there are different plug and play components, how they all join together using MCP, etc. that we'll see in today's talk. So this is about myself. Who am I? I am telecom professional with more than 25 years of experience. Currently I am working as a senior system architect at Mavenir. My day-to-day work is translating the customer requirement for the developer and the tester in terms of platform for the 5G core network. And apart from job, this is by the way, my LinkedIn profile and the QR code if anyone want to connect. My education is engineering plus management, and apart from that, I am promoting Sanskrit language. I can talk fluently in Sanskrit. The same session I can deliver in Sanskrit also, and I teach Sanskrit. Sanskrit I like and I promote. And I am volunteer with Art of Living, the largest NGO. Now, going back to the original topic. So we know AI is it started in 50s decade with all this artificial neural network and then machine learning, and you see how it evolving. Around 1980s, machine learning was popular. Then in 2010 decades, we had a deep learning where we had a neural network with multiple layers. Then suddenly ChatGPT come. So nowadays we are talking pre-ChatGPT era and post-ChatGPT era, same like pre-COVID era and post-COVID era. And then GPT-4 came. Then last year people talk about agentic AI. And last year, 2024 in November, this MCP protocol or this buzzword came up. So it is quite new. In November only it was introduced, and in short span of time there are so many. It is buzzword. It is a industry buzzword, and there are so many MCP servers. Right now, more than 7,000 MCP servers are there. Now, what is MCP server, etc.? We will see in the subsequent slide. So, what is MCP before that? So, it is introduced by Anthropic. Anthropic is a company which focus more on the ethics in the AI, and they come up with the Cloud desktop as a tool, etc. And they have all the LLM called Sonnet, etc. And this is like a universal and open source standard for connecting AI and the data, artificial intelligence or your AI tools, AI agent, etc. with the data. And it simplifies the process of building secure and two-way communication. Secure and two-way communication between what? Between agent and your remote database or RESTful API. I will see in the next slide. And it is like ODBC for AI. ODBC in the early days, any front end and back end we are connecting. So same way, if you want to connect AI with data, then we have a MCP. And what we are connecting, I have captured here, any database, any resource that is a RESTful API, and any content repository like GitHub, and any business tools, etc. So with this, there are so many MCP servers are there, because any RESTful API, any REST API is there, you can use the MCP server along with that. Even the Zerodha has MCP server. Many tools, SAP has MCP server. Many tools have the MCP server, but Sony TV I don't think we have. I developed one for myself. And what is this ultimately? How it works? So there are three major components. One is host, another is client, and of course we have the server. So what is host? So host is nothing but an LLM application that will connect, that will initiate the connection. So host can be your AI agent. It can be the Cloud desktop, so that's why I put the Anthropic Cloud picture there. It can be IDE like your VS Code, because VS Code also connect with LLM, etc. And I have used MCP CLI. Now MCP is model context protocol. CLI is a command line interface. So it is an open source project. I used it. I little bit fine tuned it, and I am doing demo with MCP CLI. Now you will ask me why MCP CLI? Because Anthropic introduced MCP. And Anthropic already has a tool, the first one, a second one, Cloud desktop. Why can't the Cloud desktop? So answer is, if I use cloud desktop, everything will work, but I need internet connection. Because I will connect with the LLM, Sonnet LLM of cloud, which is residing somewhere in the cloud, and I want to build something without internet. So in my case, LLM is running locally on this PC. We will discuss in the subsequent slide. And that's how I was looking for some host application which will allow me to connect a local LLM running with the Olama. And that was the criteria. I chose MCP CLI. Client is nothing but a program which is a part of the host application, and it will maintain the one-on-one connection with the server. So host and client, in a way, it's a single application, you can say. And server, which is a component that anyone can build, and that I have built, that I will demonstrate today. And it provides the context, it provides tools. When I say tools, that means functions. So tools and functions we are using interchangeably, and it provides prompt to the clients. Now I want to talk something about tools. So LLM, we know it is ultimately a model which give you answer whatever you ask based on it. So how we train. But if you ask simple question like 1 plus 1 or any arithmetic question, I am looking earlier days. So LLM was failed to answer. That's how the concept came tools, that if any such kind of algorithm or logic or arithmetic or any such questions are there, we can provide a tool or a function, like addition is a function, and there you invoke that function, and whatever answer comes, LLM give the answer to that. Now that was there, the tools were there since long, but what MCP bring additional to that we'll see in the next subsequent slide, and how MCP is using this tools feature of LLM, etc. we will see. So this is the basic diagram architecture. You can see here there is a one box. It is a single machine where I have the host application. As I told you, it can be agent, ID like VS Code, as well as cloud desktop or MCP CLI. Inside that host, I have multiple MCP clients. There is a one-to-one relation. I have one MCP client, one MCP server, and I can have multiple MCP server. And this MCP server has all the logic. And how they are connected? So they are connected with a JSON RPC2 protocol. This is a layer 7 as well as layer 6. You will see in the next slide all the layers related stuff. And they are connected over standard input output. Everyone remember the first line in C program language? Has include stdio.h, right? So that standard input output we are using here. And how we know the standard input, ultimately it is a file descriptor, right? So how this client know the file descriptor of server? Because server is a child process of this host application. So this host application will create a child process, that is MCP server. That's how we know all the file descriptor of the server, because it's a child process. And on that file descriptor, it will communicate. It is a two-way communication. What it will communicate? It will communicate with encoding as per JSON RPC2. And once the code reach here, your message reach here, then what will happen? That you write the logic, whatever you want to do. You connect with the remote entity, that can be database or anything, and you can use the RESTful API. JSON is a payload structure, and it will work on HTTP and TCP state. And LLM, your host application is also interacting with LLM. Now how it will interacting? We will see in the next slide, but this slide is in terms of OSI layers. Everyone remember OSI is 7 layers, the physical layer till the application layer. So here in MCP protocol, till the transport layer, it is a standard input output, that is a STDI. And the session layer, presentation layer and application layer is a JSON RPC. JSON is encoding, so it is a presentation layer. RPC is the application, and we have one unique ID to correlate request and response. So that's how the session is maintained. So all these three OSI layer with managed with the JSON RPC 2.0, and that is an ID field which help to establish the session. So it is a remote procedure called JSON. Everyone knows this is a JavaScript object notation, and ID field is used for session. And standard in, standard out, we know the file descriptor 0 and 1 in Linux. In Windows it may be different. So this is the sequence diagram. I am going little bit about theory, and then we will go about demo. So in this sequence diagram, the user, first of all, when you start your application, your cloud application or anything, you will mention who all are the MCP server. So in my case, my television is a MCP server, and that I have configured. So this server will be initiated as a child process, and the child process comes up, it will register with the client by telling what kind of tools and functionality it is providing. So this is my step number 1. In the step number 2, when user send message in the plain English, it is a chat interface. So whatever message it send, of course the host do not understand anything, it will give to LLM. But in the message number 3, but along with that message, the user prompt, it will also give the list of tools to the LLM. Now what LLM will do, it will analyze the user prompt, it will analyze all the list of tools means list of functions. So it is a pair, like a function name, the arguments, and then small description of the function. Again, second function name, its arguments and description of the function. All these things is going in the message number 3, and LLM will evaluate the prompt, understand all the function description, and then LLM will decide that which function to be called, and that it will give in the message number 4 that I want to call function 1 with input 1. Now in message number 5, the host application will call the MCP server. That is a function 1 it will call with the input argument as input 1. And how it will call? Over the MCP protocol. That is nothing but a REST-JSON RPC, and below is a STDIO. Once it reach on the MCP server, then MCP, this 6, 7, all these things is my logic, or whoever MCP server developer, he can write whatever he want to write. So he will do appropriate functionality as per function 1. It will invoke any remote resource API, etc. And whatever response it get back, it will give to MCP server. MCP server return back to the application. Now application will not give to user, because this response may be some proprietary or binary data or some proprietary format. So this response again it will send back to LLM. LLM will convert into plain English, and then whatever the response is there, it will give us a message element to the user. And I have put little box here. So between host and MCP server, we have MCP protocol, that is nothing but a JSON RPC or standard IO. Between host and LLM, we have OpenAI protocol, that is again a standardized one, but it has 2-3 variants. Everything need to be taken care in the host application. And between MCP server and resource, generally it can be RESTful API or HTTP, but it is up to us. Even we can write suppose you write any Python function without any external communication, say addition 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Then you write a nice description, it is taking 2 input argument and giving the output. And that function you can convert into MCP server. So someone will write a plain English text that please tell me the summation of number 3 and 7. The LLM will intelligently identify that it has to call your MCP server. It will call your server will respond back 10, and that's how also it is working. Here REST API is nowhere involved. So any small or big Python function can be converted into MCP server. You do not need to understand the logic of the function. If your function has a very good documentation that what this function is doing, then you convert into MCP server, and anyone can invoke your function with plain English and it will give the answer. So now I will come back to my hobby project, that is a demonstration, that is a chatting with TV, and this nice diagram done with ChatGPT, my daughter did it. It is like genie, you know that you rub the lamp and some genie come up and it will say, oh, kya hukum hai mera aaka, what do you want? So same way this MCP, my project is telling the end user that okay, what do you want with TV? And whatever with the remote control you can do, almost all those functionality you can do. It depends on how you have coded in the MCP server, and it will work. Why it will work? Because your application and television are in the same Wi-Fi network. My original plan when I talked with Vinith, my original plan was to demonstrate here. Now I can't bring television set here, so I thought I will connect remotely to the television. And to connect remotely, we have one nice application called VNC. Okay, sorry, it's not 1 minute. Okay, maybe we'll see later. So we have a nice application VNC viewer. My television is Android TV, so it has VNC server, and VNC viewer we know we generally used to connect with any remote Linux box. So television is also Linux box, and whole screen I can bring it here, and I need a connectivity. So I have my Geo broadband, and there are some limitations with Geo broadband. Geo broadband do not give us the dedicated IPv4 address. Your IPv4 address is shared with multiple people, and that's why in IPv4 I can't work. I need IPv6. So I thought I will use my handset as a tethering and as a hotspot, and I will do it. But my handset has a Geo SIM, and between Geo SIM and the Geo fiber there are some firewall issue. So I could able to do with Airtel SIM, but with my wife mobile, but with Geo SIM I couldn't do. So I can't give the live demo, but I have a recorded video and some screenshot. We will see that. So before we go to demo, I want to show you my setup. Now see the difference between earlier diagram and this diagram. In earlier diagram, if you remember, LLM was outside. I put it inside because I don't want to go my data out to the any other LLM. So I am using Olama. Olama, you know, is application where locally you can run any kind of LLM. And the television, I brought it back with a BNC viewer or real BNC viewer, and rest of the things are same. This is my server, and server I have developed using the Python SDK. There are 3 SDK: Kotlin, Python, and one more. I have used Python SDK. We will see the code also quickly. And this RESTful API I already documented on internet for Sony TV. I used it, and I am invoking those API. So again, the sequence diagram is slightly changed here. So what is changed is the number 11. So what I have done, whatever the television is giving response to the server is giving to the application, and that also I am displaying. Why am I displaying? Because of debug purpose. And again the same response, the number 8 is 8 and 11 are same. 8 is going to the as a 9 to the LLM, and LLM convert into 10, and 10 also I am displaying. So this is just for debug purpose. Rest of the things are same. And this is the thing I was talking about, list tools. So see, we have a function name and a small description. Only this much we have to do, and rest of the magic will be taken care by Python SDK. Now, before we move, I will show you. Yeah, this is my tool.
Can you increase the font?
I'm not sure.
That's fine. Thank you.
Now, this is a MCP CLI tool. It is not written by me. It is open source, and it has all these commands. So one of them is a list tools command. The complete demo will not work because I am not connecting with TV. But this is what my MCP server has provided, the list, the function name and the description. And then in next step I go to chat mode, and then whatever I write prompt, that prompt will go to LLM along with this list, and LLM will decide which function to call, etc. So that we will see in the video recording I have done. So this recording I did today only. So you can see it's the same screen what just now we have seen, but it is a video recorded. And I entered into chat mode, and first thing I asked, what is the time now? Because television provides the time functionality. Now this we are running for the first time, so it is initializing the LLM, it is invoking the Olama, and the first command it is taking little longer time. See, I have the majority of CPU is consumed by the olama.exe, and you can see it is telling that what function it is going to invoke. It is invoking my get current time, and argument is empty, and TV has responded this JSON structure, and the same JSON structure it give it to LLM, but this time LLM responds something else, empty string. So sometimes it don't work as per expectation because I am using the small language model, not the LLM GPT or something like that. But reasonably it works. And I am asking is it TV on or off. So it is saying TV is active. Now I am connecting with VNC server. The television screen come in my laptop, and then in the next demo I am just resizing it so both window we can see together simultaneously. So whatever action you are doing here, it will impact the TV because you are not in front of TV, but your television screen is inside the laptop. So I am asking that what OTT applications are installed. So again, this will give the list of the applications. I think it didn't work for the first time. Today only I recorded demo before this session. So see all this HTTP response 200 OK etc. it is giving, and this is my local IP address 192.168.29.78. So first time somehow it didn't work, but second time it has given the list. All these applications are there on my TV, and I have chosen one of the application. Now see the main advantage of this remote control. In TV, if you want Amazon Prime or YouTube or any application you want to open, you have to click the home button and navigate with left, right, up, down arrow and then press enter. But here you can directly mention the application name. So I am saying please open so and so application, that is art of living application, that your normal remote do not provide. That is the only one USP of that remote. Otherwise many people ask that what happened to your remote, why you develop such kind of application. So this is the one of the main USP of this, and it has already responded OK. That TV response is a green color box and LLM response is in the white color box, and now it is still opening. Actually it is open on TV, but on VNC viewer and server it is taking little time. So now it has opened. So this is how this application is open. Upward is some scrolling is keep happening, horizontal scrolling. And now next demo is about volume. So I am asking what is the current volume of the TV. I can increase and decrease volume also. So it identified, it has to call get audio volume information, and answer is 23. And LLM is saying the present audio volume is indeed 23. Then I am asking can you increase the volume. So again this time somehow television responded OK, but still the volume is 23. So I am confirming what is the volume. So I am again asking now what is the volume. So somehow this worked, but still some issue. So it is giving 23 only. Yeah, it is set to 23. So I am doing one more time and then you will get the 26. Because the volume increase in the step of 3 and decrease also step of 3. So if I say set volume equal to 99, it will not happen because of hardware protection television will do. So 20, it is always increase 333. So now I am again asking, and it is saying it has invoked the function. Answer is 200 OK from TV, and it will be 26. Yeah, it is 26. Then I am setting the color value. Again here there is a small bug. I am setting color value equal to 0. So when you set color 0, your color will become black and white. So in actual TV screen it is becoming black and white, but on the real VNC viewer it is not changing. It is still remain color only. So I set it 0 and I again check it is set to 0, and then I put it back to color TV. Otherwise my kids are complaining that you did some experiment and TV become black and white. So I again putting back to 80, and that's all about my demo. We are almost done, and I have few more slides, then I am almost about to finish. So I'm going back. So this slide we have seen. So these all are the screenshot only. In this demo I did in March, so you can see the time is March 21st. And then this is, I am checking whether TV is on or off. So power was on, but the screen is off. So it is saying it is in standby mode. So I told turn on the TV, say OK, and the TV is really turned on. And again I check what is the status. It is saying it is on. And here it gives, the LLM give nice response in the list format. What are the applications? And here also I open the applications, and I click on the home screen button. So this is my home screen button, and this is a Droid server, Droid VNC server, which is highlighted. Because of that I can connect VNC viewer, and remaining things are all volume information, increase volume, Here you can say louder volume, still LLM understands it. It has to call increase audio volume function only. And rest is all the color, picture and all those things. And I have also written additional functions like all this navigation key, confirm button key, pause, resume, next, all this button. But I have not recorded, screenshot, etc. And these all are the reference how to build MCP server. There are very insightful references there. And the TypeScript, Python and Kotlin, 3 SDKs I am aware of. I have used Python. And there are many other websites and many nice YouTube video which explain everything. And there are many servers, client, and again my LinkedIn profile at the end. So thank you, and it's open for question answer. But before that, I'll quickly show the source code. So this is MCP server I have written. This is my pie chart with MCP server. So I develop a whole map where each application correspondingly there is a URI. So because if you don't run the function that what are the application involved, then this map will not be initialized. So I pre-initialize, and so we can directly open. And this is the function. You can see set app active function. Just for example, I will explain one function and then I will close. So we have to put some annotations as per the Python SDK for the MCP server. And this is my function name, and this is my short description, the documentation that what is this function will do, and accordingly it will, my MCP server will register with the agent that what is the description, and the same description is going to LLM. And in the function I can do whatever I want. So this is the code I am doing. I am getting the JSON data, and I am calling the HTTPX with JSON data, and I am passing set of headers, and whatever response, generally I get 200 or response error code. So this is the one of the function. And one more thing is the security part. So this is my code 1, 2, 3, 4 that I am telling as MCP server is a client for the television. So it always give 1, 2, 3, 4. Then only television will authenticate and do whatever you are saying. So that is one thing. Apart from that, yeah. So it was fine hobby project. I enjoyed this work. I hope you also enjoyed the session, and any questions are welcome.
Hi.
Yeah.
I have a question. It may sound a little pointed, but there are a lot of IoT tools that can already do this, right? So do we really need an MCP server running? Is it not like cutting vegetables with a spoon?
So as I told you, this server is only one USB, and that is you can directly invoke the application, and you can have the plain English chat-based interface.
Okay.
And about IoT, yes, your IoT also you can connect with MCP server. How? Because this Python code, you issue the command to your infrared remote control, and it will do the same thing. The actual hardware can do the same thing, provided you have the mechanism like Raspberry Pi or something. Even there are many functions which I use with the IR infrared endpoint. Say for example here, this is my for home button, this is my code, and here I am sending the XML format output instead of REST JSON. So I have written some of the functionality with the IR endpoint, and rest of the thing. There are different endpoint and different resources. Yeah, of course, in a way you are right, but it was a hobby project. Yeah.
No, I agree. The USP is, as you answered in short, natural language processing.
Natural
Normal
language
English
processing.
language you can give it.
And I got a very good hands-on and insight how MCP works, and that's why I'm able to talk in terms of OSI layers. So now I know in and outs. Tomorrow if I want to develop any MCP server for any third-party application which give me RESTful API, even don't give me RESTful API and some binary thing or some embedded system also, I can use some IO pin up and down with Raspberry Pi, and on top of that also I can build MCP. Like I want to build simple a car with Raspberry Pi, and it will the stepper motor, and it will take left, right, whatever the command you give it. And here command is in text, but I can add one more module that is a speech to text. Then I can talk and it will obey the command. So possibilities are endless. This is all plug and play. What I have done is a small part, that is MCP server. We can use any agent, we can use any LLM. That is not I have done, but MCP is a very key component to connect anything. Yeah. Anyone else? Sure.
Is it more about fine tuning the LLM response? Like there was one more buzzword called agentic RAG, which was like in trend before this. So agentic RAG was mostly about augmenting the LLM with some static data, and this is about connecting the LLM to the real time data. Is that the only difference between RAG and this?
No,
Because
agentic RAG will take all the environment, like what are the sensors you have, what are the context you have, and accordingly it will decide and give the command to actuator. It can be stepper motor also and any such thing. While this is more like still it is in agentic AI context, but this is more like how the user prompt will convert it into function, and that function will you have written. Then whole execution flow will come to you because you have provided the description of the function. LLM will decide your function should be called. Then what to do, that exactly your call. So it is used for agentic AI, but not exactly with agentic AI RAG. Yeah. It is more on robotic side, while this is more on the any non-robotics also, like you want to book a ticket, plane ticket, or even traveling use case, it will call the plane ticket booking API, and finally the payment API and all those things. Of course with user permission, yeah. So in Claude desktop, every time it asks, and you can say yes for all. But here I am only saying in the debug that I am calling so and so function with so and so argument. I am not asking user confirmation. Anyone else? Yeah.
If we are building, for example, creating our own custom MCP server, so is there a way to secure that server also, so that not all users outside the network can access that particular server? Is there something?
No, it is not required. Why? Because MCP server and if I go back to my previous diagram, MCP server and host always run on the same machine. This diagram, they are always on the same machine. So now there are way you can use remotely, and then you will get the HTTPS endpoint. Like if you have the paid subscription of the Claude, then Claude allow you to invoke a REST API using MCP, remote MCP server also that is running somewhere. But that endpoint should be HTTPS, not normal HTTP. So Claude already secured. And still, if you want to keep this MCP server outside in any machine, then here you have to write some proxy. So this proxy will one end get the data on JSON RPC and convert into the RESTful API as it is. Only the below layer it will change. So that is possible. But in the same machine, I don't think security is that critical.
I have a question.
Sure.
Could be dumb, but are all RESTful APIs compatible with MCP servers or?
Yes, because you are invoking the RESTful API inside MCP server.
Right.
See, this yellow color is MCP protocol. This is only provided. This is your server. Now here you can invoke RESTful API, you can invoke XML based, any kind of API, even some binary API or embedded system, anything you can do. But yeah, if any application exposes RESTful API, you can definitely write the MCP server. And even if, as I told you, your code, your small Python function, you can convert into MCP server. That is also possible.
Okay, awesome. That was a cool pet project, Ravi. You can improvise and do more things on top of
Yes.
that. Manish.
Yes.
Yeah. I think let's give him a big applause.